Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. We have a busy day today, so you're going to hear a little noise in the background because we're getting ready to take books back to the library. I have a doctor's appointment online. We have chiropractor's appointments this afternoon, and we have people coming for dinner. Friends that we have met, the daughter, met the parents a couple times, but they're all coming over for dinner tonight. So we're really excited about that, just a busy day. But I wanted to tell you about some of the books that we really enjoyed this last library run. So first, I'm gonna tell you about an author. Her name is Eve Bunting, and she has a lot of books. Like her section of books at the library is like a shelf like this. So anyway, I'm gonna tell you about a couple of her books. I do want to say that there are a couple times in her books that there's a word that would be, how would you say it? Like not a swear word, but maybe a word that's kind of on the line. So I don't want to say any of those words online just in case someone's watching with their kids, but just a word that you might not choose to use. But I think the books themselves are really good, so you're gonna have to make a decision for your family. And I'm saying out of this stack of books, there were maybe 3 words, because I'm gonna show you some of her books, and we had others from her also. So out of the, let's say 10 books I had, there were maybe 3 times that I was like, oh, I wouldn't have used that word. But the books themselves are really good. So again, you get to make the determination. I'm just trying to help people pick books. So anyway, this book is called Emma's Turtle, and it's very cute about a little turtle who thinks he's exploring the world in his backyard. The kids really liked that book. What I really like about her though is she takes real life events in history or things that are actually happening in people's lives and make them broken down into things that children would understand. So I just realized I didn't pick out one of the books that I liked. Oh, maybe I did. Oh, I did. I'll tell you about it in a minute. Okay, so this one is A Day's Work. This little boy, his grandfather has moved to the United States and he doesn't speak English. So they go and stand in a parking lot with a bunch of other people that are looking for work for the day. Somebody comes and asks for a gardener, and he says that his grandfather's a gardener, which he's not. They end up messing up the work, and the grandfather says, we're gonna come back tomorrow and finish the work because it's more important that we're truthful. And it's a good life lesson for the little boy because he decided to not speak the truth to be able to try to help his grandfather, but it didn't work. Pop's Bridge is about a little boy who thinks his dad is one of the most important workers on the San Francisco Bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge, and he realizes at the end of the story, sorry, we have a glare, realizes at the end of the story that all the workers are important to it, and there's a scary part in this book where people get hurt, and that's real life, and that's what happens, and he realizes the importance of them all working together. Sunshine Home. This little boy, his grandmother had lived at their house, and she got hurt and had to go to a rehab center, and they go to visit, and the emotions that go with that, he doesn't want to go to the rehab center, but he does want to see his grandma. Mom's very upset because her mom's gone, and so all of that. What are you doing? You looking at all my books, silly boy? Yard sale. Again, they take really big topics and break it down into child-sized portions. So yard sale, this little girl, her parents need to move into an apartment, and she doesn't want to move, and they have to sell all their stuff, and just how she's sad about it. But at the end of the book, she realizes they all get to go together, and that's what is important. One Candle. These are all the same author. So One Candle, this little girl's family celebrates Hanukkah. They are Jews. I'm trying to not get the glare. They are Jews, and grandmother was in a concentration camp and tells about the story of trying to do Hanukkah during the concentration camp when they only had one candle. A Picnic in October. The family travels every year to the Statue of Liberty to be able to do a picnic on Lady Liberty's birthday because her grandparents were immigrants and they remember coming into this country and how important that was to them. I know Lady Liberty herself is not important, but just the idea of immigration and that's how our nation became what it is. Okay, off that author, but she has a bunch of other books. She also has some really cute, so those were all like real life stories, like things that could actually happen. She also has some cute books that involve animals and things that are very cute too. Okay, Half Spoon of Rice, a survival story of the Cambodian genocide, written by Icy Smith. I think that's how you say the name. And so this book is very intense, but it's about a little boy who had to leave his family during the Cambodian killing fields, Khmer Rouge, all of that stuff. He makes a friend. He's split up from his parents. It talks about the dead bodies they have to walk over. This one's very intense, but it's really good. We actually know people. We know a man who's from Cambodia. His family is now missionaries in Cambodia, and he went through this as a child of about this age. So this was really good. Malachi, go over there for a little bit. So this was a really good book. This became one of our favorite books. It was one I happened to pick up off the shelf. Life-Size Animal Tracks by John Townsend. But it tells you a little bit about each animal, and it shows you the size of their prints, which is really fun as they get to the bigger animals. And I'm not exactly sure where it is. Oh, here it is. There's an elephant, and it's actually open up. And it became a favorite to the point that while we were outside walking one day, there was a like a puddle about the size of the elephant footprint, and the kids were sure an elephant had walked through our driveway. They didn't really think the elephant had walked through the driveway. But this is a real life biography, and I do not agree with all of his stances on how children should be able to be more mature than their parents think they are, because he tells kids that they should ask their parents to not correct them for a half an hour so they can make sure that their parents actually believe in the correction they're giving. But this guy, it's The Champion of Children, the story of Jonas Korzak. I don't know how you say that name. And it's written by Tomek Bogacki. I'm messing up all these names. But anyway, he actually saved a lot of kids during the Jewish concentration camps and things like that. He was in the ghetto with the Jewish kids. And so kids have memories of him. So it's an actual real life story. So while I don't agree with everything he did, this is a true story. And then this one is Blizzard by Jim Murphy. And it's like we did it as a read aloud because it has some pictures, but it's not really a picture book. But it's about a blizzard that happened in 1888, I think. Yep. And it shut down New York City. It shut down Hartford, Connecticut. It shut down a ton of things. And it made a lot of those cities rethink how they did things because there wasn't a subway system at this time, so nothing was underground. Wires and things were not underground, so all the wires fell down. They didn't have good communication systems. Those went down at the time. And so it made cities really rethink what they were doing. But it's stories through the blizzard of different people and how some of them died on their way home trying to get home to things. Some of them was a story of survival of how they got through something. So anyway, this was a really interesting book to read. I would not read it in the middle of blizzard with kids because they might get scared, but it really was a good book. So anyway, that's the books we enjoyed this week on our library run. We're going to go back and get more today, so you'll see another one in a couple weeks. See you guys next time on Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God.